battle ever so important yet so small, a battle that defined the future of Siegecliff and the future of the server. A war started from little to nothing, just a single stolen item. This is Hacksaw MC, a world building server that's waiting for you to change history. A server that's waiting for you to create everything. Before we explore what happened during the battle, the events leading up to the war are just as important. During the first few weeks of the server, nations were pretty much non-existent. During this time of peace, two players named a Casual Eggman and Primer Squad decided to create a land after migrating down from the northern tundras of Siegecliff. They didn't have enough resources to officially establish a nation, but wanted to be shown on the world map. As a result, Port Ben was formed. Days of hard work went into the port, and after a while the land had grown enough to have its own market, the very first on the server. Nothing could change, could it? Everything seemed fine to the leader of Eggland, a Casual Eggman. Secretly, behind his back, Primer Squad and his followers had enough of being stuck in a land and wanted their own nation. They found a land up north that wasn't just snow. Primer decided to leave Port Ben in secret and migrated to the land they found. During this process, they had to go back and forth with items. Primer at some point stole an enchantment table from Egg. While Primer not wanting to be part of Port Ben was troubling, he didn't mind. It only meant another nation to deal with it down the line. However, if Primer and his men decided that stealing was fine, clearly they were a threat far more prominent than he could ever realise. In the peacetime of Primer's new group, he found a name. He wanted a society of warriors, and no better name than Sparta could come to his head. Despite the nation being a city-state, they had ambitions. Ambitions that would lead to the catastrophic events that happened later down the line. Egg heard of the news and was outraged and declared war in an instant. The first battle for Sparta had begun. Only one man was deployed, but this troop knew how to beat the Spartans in tactics. He purposely held back so he could use his bow, using the surrounding buildings for cover and occasionally rushing in to finish enemies. This piled on top of the Spartans, who eventually had to surrender. They could have won, but this one man was too well equipped for their army. Every tactic they had tried to use failed. Everything was lost, especially to leader Primer Squad. What would happen now? Would Sparta die? He didn't want to be part of Eggland. Port Ben, he literally just left. This couldn't be happening. But then, Sinkers gave them an option. An option to join Daus. This option saved Sparta and set the future for the entire server.
Okay, what I'm gonna say is that if I do win this battle, I won't make you guys join Eggism. I'll make you just a state of Pyrodos, which means you still have all your freedom. You're just on the map as a different nation. Is that alright? Because Egg didn't do anything, so I don't think it's fair that he gets it. Basically, if I do have my way, what will happen is you guys still be your own empire, but you'll be on the map as somebody else.
Join Hacksaw MC today and create your very own story. One just like this, or one that's completely unique. The IP and Discord are in the description, alongside with an entry where you can read more. Trust me, this is where your story starts.